Hi, everybody. It's Margaret. And we're moving slowly this morning. Anybody else? I have been up for a while and I have done some task-oriented things, but switching over to this live stream is shifting me into low gear. So, welcome. Welcome, everybody. We are here for the final Friday of January doing a productivity stream. I intend to do 3, maybe 4 little sprints of productivity, which means we're just sort of quietly working alongside each other through the ether. And I am still thinking through what I want to do during all the sprints. But for the first one, I'm definitely going to be doing some social media scheduling for my paid job. So I will do some of that during our first 20-minute sprint and then finish up by getting myself a cup of tea. So I'm going to use a timer on the screen, which has some audio. It's just a crackling fireplace. So hopefully that's okay with folks. I think I've got it set up correctly. Sure. This is one of HK Darkwood's timers, so we will pop that in. If you're new here or watching this on the replay, hello, I'm Margaret. I'm a booktuber and author tuber, which means I write historical fiction and I read very eclectically. We've got a readathon coming up in February that I'm trying to get people jazzed up for and prepared for, so feel free to check that out in the description. Otherwise, subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment down below. Tell us what you're working on. We'll leave that one up and start the timer in just a second after I say hello to the people in the comments. We had a Dr. B in here earlier to say good afternoon. Hello, it's the morning for me. We had a Shannon SD Houston popping in just in time, she says. Working on a not short story, alternate point of view. Oh my goodness. It is now at 60,186 words, and she's near the end. But I'm wondering, alternative POVs, how does that make it shorter? Oh my gosh. And she's still going to send it out even though it's super long and not a short story. I would say chop it up and make it another, I don't know, series of novellas. RC is here, rocking out to the morning. Jocelyn is here. Good morning. See, she's got her cup of tea already. And Leah Lindman is here from Pen to Paper. Good morning. Good morning. Happy final Friday. Yes, I am incognito. No, the reason I'm wearing the sweatshirt, yeah, it's kind of bad hair, but also because it's a fundraiser. So this is my message for everyone today. Abolish the filibuster. Gotta get political. To Laura, hello, welcome. I can't believe how fast January passed already. I'll be reading Homicide and Hollow Hollow. Oh, nice. And writing maybe yoga. Not sure about the yoga. Yeah, every time I look at one of the yoga videos in my watch later list, I'm like, no, I don't feel like it. Yeah, I feel you there. Even though it might be good for my neck pain, who knows? Shannon says fireplace is okay. All right, good. Jordan Mahoney is here from the Blind World channel. Hey, how are you today, my friend? Never asked you. Yeah, you've asked what I look like, and I don't think that's material to the channel, so we're gonna leave that unanswered. Shannon says, I can't chop it up as it's part of my special edition hardback that some people bought. The short story is part of the hardcover? Oh, interesting. Okay. Shannon's got all sorts of stuff going on. And Jordan says, I'm here after listening to my favorite radio station, Radio Nova. It's a different rock and roll radio station, and I'm trying to figure out the Nova noise. Interesting. All right. Well, feel free, anyone else, to chime in with what you're working on. I'm going to be composing social media posts, as I said, and we'll move on to probably research reading as a reward, along with a cup of tea as a reward after the first 20 minutes. But let's go ahead and start the timer for our first 20-minute productivity sprint, and good luck. Boom, there we go, 20 minutes. There we go. Count your words. Nice. So that just goes a little bring, like when you were a kid and you were reading books that told you to turn the page. Excellent. How did that go for you? I'm going to catch up in the chat before I reveal how far I got. And I starred. Oh, Jordan's comment. They said, I'm glad January is coming to an end because I'm not a January person, so to speak. And I'm working on what anime taught me about writing. I think that's what it should be. It says talking about writing, but I think that might be a transcription error because what I've seen around is people doing videos on what anime taught me. I think that's a Jenna, the soul writer theme or effort, which is pretty cool. Leah is working on dishes first, and she says next sprint will be formatting her upcoming book as a paperback. All right. I have already successfully avoided working on formatting today because I thought, too frustrating. Leslie came in from Books, Gers, and Purrs. Good morning and afternoon. Yep. Wherever you are. Jordan was telling us about this radio show he's listening to, Northern Noise. Apparently, you can win money on something, but the clues are confusing. So I will leave that alone as well. Oh, here's one of my pet peeves that came up. I'm working on scheduling social media posts, and I first Google an author to try to find their website, and then I look for their social media links, and some of them will have just one or two, and I'm like, but do you really not have the third one? So I'll go to the third site and search their name, and bingo, they're right there. So why don't they include that on their social media with everything else? I think it's a test. It's like, do you really want to find me on Twitter? Jordan was asking Shannon about the short story issues and then agreeing with me about, like, are you trying to hide your Instagram and TikTok? Normally, I think they have Instagram up, but they will hide Facebook or Twitter. And I'm like, what? Why? You're making my job hard for me. And all I'm trying to do is make you look better. So anyway, Beth Ann says, hello, hello. I am here for some productivity. Awesome possum. Shannon got 579 words in that 20 minutes. I'm betting that is dictating. That sounds great. Kappa is here. Hello. Line editing, so no word count. I tiptoed in when everyone was working. Very crafty, very like a cat. Jocelyn is multitasking, trying to squeeze in the words. I getcha. Yep. Shannon, maybe they don't include it because they didn't have it when they last updated their website and just haven't done that update. That is very true. That is very plausible. Or else someone at the publishing house handles the website update and they're short-staffed. Also very plausible. Catba says maybe they're engaging as a private person rather than not in this case. I mean, that's possible in some cases, but yeah, not in this case I was talking about. Talking about the short story. Yes, LOL, dictation, well, for Shannon. My words per minute typing is 8.9. I don't know what that is relatively. Leslie says, Ola, early bird, Shannon, early dragon. Hey, birds are sort of like dragons, so yeah, that works. Okay, so mine, like I said, doing social media posting, I got through 3 posts. 3 posts. And they're going out on 2 platforms, so like 6 actual posts. But it just felt very slow. I thought it would actually be funny because when I'm focused on doing this task specifically, I talk to myself. I was muted, but you could probably see me saying swear words if you can see me on the screen, and being very laser focused, going from one tab to another. I have to rotate between like 4 different tabs to get all the information, and that's why I try to get a bunch done at once in one go, if you will. And so yeah, intense focus. Oh, okay. So Shannon's giving us some context, some benchmarks here. Secretaries or HR positions in the military need to be at least 40 words per minute. You're at 9. Gotcha. I thought people who are like stenographers were like 80. Is that that's what's in my head, but that sounds like totally wild if that's such it's so far off from secretaries in the military. Okay. We know what some of you are doing for your next sprint. Beth Ann, if you didn't mute me for the fireplace crackles, what are you working on? Leslie, what are you working on? Haven't heard you guys weigh in. Earlier today when I did my like planning check-in, I thought through some posts for myself, but I didn't make the graphics for them. So I think in order to have a little bit of a switch up, I'm going to make myself my cup of tea, and then I'm going to come back and do the graphics for some of my own personal brand posts that no one is paying me for. Because I'm trying to get in the habit of doing them like a week or 2 ahead, and that will help me when I go on my trip to the UK at the end of February, because hopefully I'll be in that a week or 2 ahead on posting cycle. So what do we got? Delara read 17 pages and ordered 2 books, Dark Places and Idle. I don't know either of those. They sound like dark romances to me, but let me know if I'm on the right track. Beth Ann says, I am posting quizzes for my students, almost done, and then finishing putting together a lab manual for students to use this semester. You're publishing! You're putting together a book. Yes. Oh, Dark Places and Idle are not the name. Oh, yes, they are the name. One, Gillian Flynn, I think, is probably Dark Places, and Idle is by Louise O'Neill, and that name is familiar to me too. Maybe because they're thrillers, and I produce a crime mystery thriller show. That may be why. Yeah. And Beth Ann says, yes, I am publishing. Leslie says, I'm at work, just grinding, a bit off topic, but did pick up a copy of Womb City and look forward to reading it this year. Nice. And we're like excited for Beth Ann's version of publishing. Lab manual. Nice. Manual. Shannon does a lot of not published work that could be considered writing manuals for AWC. So wouldn't it be funny if you like published that? I don't know. My mind's going off in a crazy direction because I need to go get a cup of tea. So do we want to keep up with the crackling fireplace, or let me check what else I have on my little timer playlist. I've got fairies. If we want to do fairies, which is a pretty one, I'll set that up next. Let's see. It is a timer from ST Houston, and I'm just going to fast forward it to the beginning of 20 minutes because that's the time slots I'm working with here. Oh, I almost got it. I was 2 seconds off. So pretty. All right, so I'm going to go back to theater mode and pause. And then check in, make sure we're all set to go for the next one so that I can get my cup of tea. Um, Delara says, "Ooh, Womb City is on my January TBR." So we've got two like-minded readers here. Oh Lord. Catfa says, "When is the next AWC?" It is the weekend of June 28th, 29th, and 30th. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Shannon was quick on the draw there. And thank you. Yes. So get that on your calendar. We're reviewing applications this weekend. Very exciting. Okay, so let's jump into our second productivity sprint. I'm going to go for T and graphics and invite you to share with us what you are working on and mute myself after I hit start. There we go. And boop. So Shannon's got automatic 5-minute break timers worked into her 3-hour long process. I'm not going to use that because we may go longer than 3. Oh, and I forgot about my tea because I got caught up in my work. Oh, it's a blue ribbon day. What can I say? Let me at least let it steep. Jesus Christ. Okay, now it's not completely boiling water, but hopefully it'll still steep. How did you guys enjoy that 20-minute sprint? Let me catch up before I report out my results. As you saw, I failed at my first task. Shannon says, was brainstorming names from my not short story with my massage therapist this morning. She's a huge reader. She just picked one of the ones I sent her. So now the name for it is Dark Scars and Lovely Roses. It's nice. Leslie says that sounds lovely, dramatic, and enticing. Awesome. I just popped in my reminder here because one of the reasons I got sidetracked was that I went to look up a book to put in a graphic and remembered that Rachel had sent me a couple names of people to put in the Black Author Tuber readathon sheet. So I had to look them up. One of them worked, one of them didn't. So anyway, that's what I spent some of my time on. And so that's what I'm going to highlight for. There's more names in the spreadsheet. Go check it out and read along with us for February. Barrett dropped in from work to leave a like, hello, and virtual hug. Yay! His answer was working on work at work, which feels like a Matrix answer. Yeah. Shannon said she got 639 words. Well done. Almost done. Almost done. Cat Paw saying hello. And Shannon says, I plan to make a 30-minute timer of those fairies without the break. Missed the question. The question was just what you did, right? I didn't have another question, did I? I don't think so. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing good. We're working on all V6 here. So my sprint was spent on boiling water without the follow through for the tea, and then trying to start a graphic, getting a screenshot, and trying to find a previous version to copy for this idea, and realizing I overwrote it. The old days of computers. So I will just have to redo it, which is fine. And then getting caught up in the Black Author Trooper readathon spreadsheet. So that's where my 20 minutes went. Just, my morning is moving along. Based on that, I'm going to try again for the cup of tea. I'm going to try again for the one graphic so that I can get one social media post scheduled for Facebook. Lordy, lordy. And his nibs over here is sneezing. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. In case anyone is really curious, I posted about the interlibrary loans. So we hadn't been able to get them for a couple years because of the pandemic. And then the library opened them up again, and I promptly put in several requests. I got 3 of them in the same day. I guess that's normal. And I started on one, which is The Irish in Scotland from 1798 to 1845. It was written by someone in 1945. And that is what a 1945 book spine looks like. It's seen its days. And that's what an interlibrary loan looks like. You've got this thing you're not supposed to take off because it's supposed to go back to them eventually. And yeah, it actually looks like it's been reinforced over the years because it's an old book. So, yeah, reading about that, I'm basically skimming through it to look for interesting details and taking pictures of the pages. Um, and yeah, background detail. There's lots of stuff going on in North Ayrshire, and that is where I'm heading on my trip. And I'm already planning on going to the North Ayrshire Heritage Center Museum. Um, I would have liked to go to South Ayrshire because Wigtown is there, which is like the book town, but I think it would have been more possible with renting a car, but in the snow and ice and the, unpredictable weather with no navigator, um, I don't think that's a wise decision. So I'm going to keep to the places where I can stick close to the railway stations. And so that is helping me direct the decisions for the trip in February. But they mention a lot of places that are railway stops. They talk about Saltcoats and they talk about Irvine, um, and Ardrossan, which is a ferry port, as places for migration between Ireland and Scotland. And since that's part of the background of the novel that I'm working on currently, I'm trying to get a sense of like where they would be so I can hone in on the details for the setting. And like, I don't want to get too into it before I realize, oh, wait, it would have been better to change to here. So um, like when I drafted it and I really had no idea because I hadn't done the research yet, I said it was out in a suburb of Glasgow, like on the south sort of carriage route, railway route. And I wasn't sure of like when different routes were built and all that kind of stuff. And so I sort of made it vague. And now I have to figure out where is it? How close is it to be close to the action to enable, daily rides back and forth, etc. So the unglamorous historical research, just like the unglamorous formatting tasks and the, I don't know, lots of stuff feeling very unglamorous these days. What can I say? Up. Let's see. How did I mess up getting my cup of tea? Okay, I'm gonna leave this on because I'm sure it's done steeping by now by the talking that I've done. Make my cup of tea. Just for that sass, Beth Ann. Okay. Because I'm a terrible person, I'm putting in both sugar and milk. All right, sugar and milk and tea. Um, it's because it's a reward, Beth Ann. I always forget to reward myself. I just keep going if I'm in a line of thought. It's okay. I'll drink it. It's not the best. Um, yeah. And I have been thinking about something Justiva said like a week ago, which was, what do you do that is a reward that is not also a coping mechanism? Like I don't know. I think all like it's one of those logic things, like all my coping mechanisms are rewards or something, or maybe backwards. I don't know. I've been thinking about this and I can't decide. I've been looking up psychology and thinking about doing a video about it. But I can't like decide what I can't figure out what I'm trying to say. Okay. Delara says, read 21 pages. Have you guys seen The American Nightmare on Netflix? No. No, we have a horror fan in the crowd. Yay. Welcome. Not me. Cat Paw says, I got lost in the rabbit hole reading about Womb City. Oh, okay. Nice. So we've got readers spreading books. That's nice. Shannon says El Penelope is coming on my channel next month to talk about her fantasy romance book. Awesome. I thought she'd choose Angel Born, but she chose Savage City. I think there's also a sale running on that. I think I just got a BookBub notice that Savage City is on sale. So I might change my notation on the sheet. Oh, okay. Totally cool. It's not even February yet, so feel free to change what you're reading. All good. Um, is Savage City still romance? It might have a romance subplot. That'll still work for the readathon. I don't know if it works for your show. Delara says, what do you think an author would feel when their work is used in real life by the police? I've been thinking about that. No spoilers, but the police had a lot of Gone Girl references. I've seen people play with this in fiction, actually, and I can't think of an exact example, but when you write about something, especially in crime fiction, and then someone uses that idea to commit a crime, like, why wouldn't the police go to you? Their work is used in real life by the police. By the police or by the criminal? I'm curious. I'm not gonna watch it, so I don't care about spoilers, but yeah, haven't seen that. Oh, Savage City is actually on sale for 99 cents on Amazon. I think it must be across all platforms because I think I got my notice from BookBub. So very cool. Just pick your platform, pick your poison. Beth Ann says, historical research sounds pretty glamorous when you get to go on location for it. That is true. But in the meantime, I'm trying to find the glamour in, old books. We've got The Irish in Scotland, which will help with the background. I've got Scotland and the Abolition of Black Slavery, so that's a bit newer. And then Irish immigrants and Scottish society in the 19th and 20th centuries. Proceedings of the Scottish Historical Studies Seminar, University of Strathclyde. So, we've got some interesting academic journals, essays, scholarly articles. Glamorous. Like I said. But yes, getting on a plane. At the moment, I think it's 2 nights in London, 1 on the in, 1 on the out, 2 nights in Glasgow, and 2 nights in Saltcoats if I can get it. But the person, I've sent her 2 messages from different emails in case I got into spam, and the B&B person hasn't responded to me, and I'm like, there's like 2 choices in your town, lady. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, planning is going slowly. Oh, I have to get those rewards. Yeah. Oh, that feels good. Okay, I need to like let my shoulders down. Yeah, rewards. Again, I'm thinking about like how they're becoming coping mechanisms which are unhealthy, and how do I make that different from a reward system? Kay Simmons, hello, popping in during a pause on my audio to say hi and share some love with the like button. Oh, appreciate that, Kay. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Savage City screams fantasy romance from the blurb. Okay. I was just going by the cover, and the cover leans more fantasy to me, but good. Good, good. Good for a charmed chat. Saying hi, Christina. Jim is on. He says Stephen King withdrew Rage from publication because it was connected to a school shooting. Meaning he thought it would provoke more. It's hard to believe that's possible even. But like he wrote it about a phenomenon that's ongoing. So like that's a weird move for Stephen King. I would like to hear more of that backstory, Jim. Also, hi. Hello. Delara. Spoiler alert, everybody, for American Murder, whatever this show is. So basically, a woman was kidnapped right next to her boyfriend and then assaulted and brought back. The police thought she Gone Girled herself and that it was a hoax by her. So the police contacted the author of Gone Girl and then tried to ask her, like, ask the victim about the book. That could be very twisty. I could see that as a good, like, show twist. Shannon says there's also a dystopian note, so that will be interesting within the genre on Savage City. Yay. Are you going to have, like, a calendar of who is on when, aside from the events on your channel? That would be really cool, because then you could set up, like, I don't know, kind of like a bingo card, but a calendar saying when all the people are coming. I did that for March of the Moderns, like, 3 years ago. 3.5 years ago. But I thought that was pretty helpful. Turns out it was all real. She wasn't Amy Dunn in the flesh. They thought she was the author? What? Oh, boy. It's really interesting about the Stephen King process. Till date, as many as 4 shooters have drawn inspiration from this novel. To date. Rage? But if it hadn't been published, how did they draw inspiration from it? Did he take it out of print? It was published and he took it out of circulation? Okay. I'm gonna have to Google this now afterwards. Delara says, no, they haven't contacted the author, but they kept calling it the Gone Girl case and dismissing her. Ah, I wonder how the author would feel about that. Oh, I see. I see. Interesting. Yeah, when you explain the setup, the author might feel bad about it, but that's not the author's fault. That's the police's fault. It's just like, I was just watching clips of Unbelievable. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's on Netflix right now, I think, with one of my favorite actresses, Toni Collette, and also, I can't remember his first name now. The actor who came out as trans mask, Elliot Page. There we go. Before the transition. And there is a piece in that story where someone who is a marginalized, like, teen, basically, like a troubled teen out of the foster care system, is questioned whether they're telling the truth about this assault because look at their background, and they're pressured into denying that it happened because they're going to be charged with false reporting. And then it turns out it did happen later, and that person is just like, it's such a good is it a movie or is it a short series? I can't remember, but it's really, really well done. How nice. Okay, Shannon says there will be a calendar and it's going to be up by Monday. I have the graphics done already. Exciting, exciting. Oh, I skipped one. Jim says Stephen King himself asked the publishers not to publish this book anymore. It was one of his Bachman books. Okay, I'm not familiar with Stephen King's books, so what this is telling me is that it was published and he told them to take it out of print, like to discontinue it. Okay, so that's why it was the inspiration for school shooters. Gotcha. Yeah, Delara is fascinated as well. Gonna read on that more. Crazy. Yeah, it's like, we've got 2 expressions for that, right? We've got truth is stranger than fiction, but then we've also got art imitates real life, which I think are sort of a circle of weirdness of fiction and reality at this point. Ugh. Okay, we've got time for maybe 2 more sprints. Let's jump into the 3rd one. I've got my tea now, and maybe I'll get through a graphic. That will be my goal, and anything else is gravy for this next 20 minutes. Let me find our next timer will be, let's see. What do we have? Oh, we have Northern Lights. Let's do Northern Lights. I like that. 20 minutes. And some seconds. This is another HK Darkwood timer. Pop it up here so you don't have to look at me and my Darth Maul phase. And we'll see you in 20 minutes. Good luck. I'm tempted. Oh, okay. So we've got about 20 minutes left after 3 sprints. I don't think I'm gonna go for a 4th one unless I just wanna do 15 minutes of reading, which I might do. Wanna do 15 minutes of reading? I was just looking to check because this week is when I got the notice that I was, like, approved as far as the YouTube partner program goes, and it took a week or so, and, now you can send super chats and super stickers and stuff in the comments in the live chat. So I just went in and saw how you could do that on my own stream as myself, and I thought, if I do that myself to test it, then I'm just giving YouTube money. I don't need to do that. So then I was thinking, like, how do people on TikTok do that? They encourage people. And I thought they do those silly non-playable character sayings or like it's totally weird. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to think about what would make people want to do that though, because I don't think it's a big thing unless you're a huge channel like Dale and you have so much chat coming through that like you need to do that to stand out. So since that is what I have open to me at the moment, I might be thinking about how can I make that fun for people. So how'd you guys do during that 20-minute sprint? After getting my tea, Shannon's giving YouTube money. Here's your test. You really pop out of the chat there, Shannon. I like it. I like the color. It goes well with your hair. Maybe you get a fancy compliment when you get a super chat. Thank you. You're the first one. That's cool. That's really cool. Thank you. So now we'll get to see how that comes out on the back end. Oh boy. And then it's automatically starred because I have that checked. Nice. Okay. I'm seeing how it's working. All right. Going back to how the chat went. Shannon says 635 words. Way to go. Almost finished, she says. And yet we keep getting words. I'm very curious about this. Delara, who's reading, has 35 pages left on my book. Excellent. Emma Bennett stopping in to say, hey, hey, hey. So yeah, that was our 20 minutes. I got 2 graphics done, the ones that I had to redo, and they are for Facebook. And it seems like a long time to spend on 2 graphics because it should be more easy and streamlined for something that isn't actually earning you money. But here's the brainstorming I did this morning. I've got different lists for Facebook posts and for Instagram posts. And some of it is the same material, but it's being processed in a different way, processed in my brain and processed for the platform. So we will see if that does a good job of like overlapping priorities or themes for the different platforms. And whether it gets engagement, whether it is entertaining and provocative. Not very provocative in my social media posts. I'm just trying to like get people to talk to me. Okay. So Shannon is clarifying. Well, almost finished on a 61,000 word novel is like 5 to 10,000 words more. Okay. Okay. So you had your 3-hour stream. No, not today. Did you already do that today? I think I saw you this morning when I woke up and I turned on my phone. So you may have like a 5,000 word day today, just like that. Kappa says, tearing my hair out, wrangling and rewording. Doing the copy edits. Kappa, what are you writing, by the way? I don't think I have that in the back of my head, like what your genre is. So let us know. Shannon, I had 11 plot points left and just finished 4 of them. Oh, see, we're getting data, Shannon thinks in numbers. I was there when I think Andy's stream on Wednesday where you said 18 admin tasks and I've done 13 and I've got 11 plot points left and just finished 4. Like I can't think that way at all. If I have a list, but oh my gosh. No stream today. Okay, so Monday through Thursday then maybe. That's right, it's Friday. It's Friday already. Final Friday. And just like Jordan, I am excited to bid farewell to January because there's a lot wrong with January. And I think February has the potential to go more easily. So yeah. So I did the graphics. I've got 2 Facebook graphics. I haven't even done the posts yet. But I think for after this stream, I'm going to make some food, take a little break from sitting, and like my neck have a break from staring at the screen. Even though it's supposed to be like ergonomically the same level, I feel like I get into doing this. Like the crick is real. So food, standing, moving around, and then maybe some reading to get back into the research mode. And then, I don't know, maybe some more people will get back to me about the Black Author Tuber readathon stuff because I'm waiting on people for that and for the trip. I can't do the trip details, paying people for stuff until they get back to me. So that's my exciting Friday morning. Cat Paw says they've gone back to an earlier project, which is mixed genre, kind of feel good, supernatural elements, solar punk fantasy. I need that genre talk. Solar punk. Okay, cool. Very cool. And it's set on an alternative timeline in the Andes. Oh, very cool. I don't know if you I think you do Instagram. It's all sort of blending right now because my brain is not very clear. But I just saw Esther shared, and so I followed this creator called Natalia Hernandez Author, and she had all of these alternative fantasies, like alternative to Arthurian, and she had a lot of other fantasy traditions being represented, including this, because that's what she writes in, and it looked really cool. So there were several. I shared it in my Instagram stories and followed her, and the mental note is not going to last very long, but the mental note is to like look up some of those specific books because they went by very quickly and put them on my Storygraph wish list. So we'll see if I get to that. But I commented on her post as well, saying that TJ Young and the Orishas should go on that list. I feel like when I read P. Jelly Clark, Black God's Drums, I didn't, it's a novella. It's a very short novel. And I liked some of the folklore elements that made up the story. But because it was short, I didn't get into it. I didn't feel fully immersed. I know P. Jelly Clark is like supposed to be my jam, but I have not read another book of theirs. So I kind of think of TJ Young and the Orishas series, which is 3 novels and 3 novellas or short stories, as in the same folklore tradition. But I haven't read it yet. So that is by Antoine Bandele, who is a new Black Author Tuber who I found and who will be on the panel on Wednesday, which is very exciting. And so I think if I read that, one of the novels, like the first novel, that may give me more of like something to bite into, which would be good. Yeah, check it out. Natalia Hernandez, author. She had a lot of good recommendations. Oh, what else? What else is coming up? So because I switched the dates for the kickoff for the Black Author Tuber Readathon. That is going to be a night before thing. So Wednesday, the January 31st, will be that panel with all the Black Author Tubers I could gather. And so that means my Sunday video is going to be February Readathon recommendations. And so, because I'm hosting one, that will be like the main focus. But I'm also interested in Folklore February, which is what Kat's Novel Adventures is running for the second year. And I just watched the announcement video and wrote down like my first pass recommendations. And they're all like people I know who are in that category, but I haven't read yet. So I can't recommend them yet. So we may have some difficulties. We'll see. We'll see about this. But I think we may have some crossover between Folklore February and Black Author Tuber Readathon. And I think I'm going to do a video about romance and the Black Author Tuber because there's plenty of ones that I've read for that. But I think there's only going to be 2 readathons that I'm really engaged in for February. So unless, I don't know, other ones pop up. But a long list of books to read in February, the shortest month, even though it's got leap year this year. So we'll see. We'll see how I do on that. January. Yeah, I'm ready to say goodbye to January. So did you guys get your work done? Did you feel like something got shoved off your desk at least? Did you make yourself a cup of tea? Do you have a feeling of more settledness? That's kind of what I'm aiming for with these, is that you lose the feeling of fog and feel better about starting the day. I am behind everyone in the time zone race, so maybe this isn't starting your day. This is in the middle of your workday. I don't know. People's workdays are so fractured nowadays that who knows what's going on. Maybe I'm catching the crowd halfway around the world and they're like getting off of work and getting into reading sprints. Delara, I don't think I know where you're located. I'm guessing not the West Coast, but who knows? Let me know if you're comfortable. Shannon says, got stuff done. About 2.7 thousand words total for the day. Nice. And then, but then have to move on to admin tasks. Yes. I do think I could finish this not short story by the end of the weekend. Yeah. I did, just FYI, my first pass of all the applications, and I gave them a based on the application only, based on the description only rating. And now I need to go back and sort of look at the channel, look at the names, like my non-anonymous scanning, and sort of weight them to send those over to you. So it is a very interesting field for the AWC in June. That's all I will say. Leslie has resorted to a Monster Energy drink, but yes, it's nice to crunch through work with good vibes. Yay! Yeah, Shannon says I have to do that pass today too. I'll send my notes to you around 3 p.m. CST. That is like in an hour and a half. Okay. Kiddo about to come home. Yes. Well, I'm going to be doing the food and the reading and sort of like trying to take a break from this and then come back to it. So I think we'll probably be pretty aligned. So that is just me wrapping up today, folks. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thanks for joining. I usually put up videos Sundays and Wednesdays at noon Pacific time. So I'm behind most of y'all, which is just how it is. I'm lucky enough to live on the West Coast of the US, and I'm pretty happy about it. So I'm not going to complain about my time zone. So I will see you soonish. The panel is going to be in the evening for people to be able to join. So 5 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday will be our altered time for that, for the kickoff for the readathon. Cat Paw says, middle of my workday, so I'll make some more iced coffee, feed the cats, continue herding the words into something more readable using the Agatha Christie motto of easy to read is better. I like that. Better than fancy word flexing. For a book that is often true. Yes. And people saying, thank you, thank you. Lovely to have you here watching. And Shannon says, you're lucky to live in the past, right where you like to be with your writing. That is true. That is true. All right. Well, thanks everybody and happy weekend, Friday. So take care and I hope you get to some good reads this weekend.